Today is the 30th anniversary of Nirvana's TV performance on Canal Plus in France. In this video, I will be attempting to recreate Kurt Cobain's guitar tone from this performance. This is the famous appearance where the band is all dressed up in matching suits, and where Kurt's guitar cuts out in the bridge of Drain You, resulting in a scream that many fans will say was his best. Ever since I started my channel, I've gotten asked many times why Kurt's guitar cut out here. I have never had an answer for this until now. I was lucky enough to connect with Jim Vincent recently. Jim was a guitar tech who worked the entire In Utero tour. For the majority of the American leg, he teched for both Chris and Pat. But starting on December 29, 1993 in San Diego, he switched sides of the stage and teched for Kurt from then on, for the remaining US dates and for the entire European leg. This TV appearance was the first European date. Jim recalled to me that because the band had to fly out to this TV station, they wanted to travel with as little gear as possible. They ended up using some rental equipment, including rental guitar cables. For Kurt, Chris, and Pat, the long cables that went from their guitars to the first pedal and from the last pedal to their amps were rentals, while the pedal board patch cables were the same they had been traveling with and using on the tour. One of the rental cables that Kurt got ended up being bad. The cable that was plugged into his guitar died, causing his guitar to completely drop out mid-song. Afterwards, Jim inspected the cable and found that it had frayed and had broken copper. After the performance was over, the band was very excited and hyped up on what had just happened. It was very different for Kurt to just sing on a song like that, and everyone in the band was very happy with how that performance came out. Let's break down Kurt's setup, and then I'll show what I am using and my settings. Kurt used his Fiesta Red custom shop Fujigen Fender Mustang that was nicknamed Oranj-Stang. Like the rest of his In Utero Mustangs, it had a Seymour Duncan JB humbucker in the bridge position. These two are the same guitar. Fans have nicknamed this version the Roseland Mustang. It was played at the Roseland Ballroom with a red tortoiseshell pickguard and a Seymour Duncan JB Jr. My Fiesta Red Jag-Stang's mods are inspired by the Roseland Mustang. This is the only time we see the guitar with this setup, as when its next scene is on the In Utero tour, where we see it in its final form. White Perloid pickguard, full-size JB, and Goto 2-Nomatic bridge. I am using my custom Squier Oranj-Stang build that my good friend Jeff over at Lomic Guitars built using only spare parts he had in his shop. It's essentially a budget build of this guitar, and it proves that it's completely possible to replicate or to get extremely close to a tone while using different gear than what the artist actually used. There are multiple ways to skin a cat. There are various ways that we can achieve recreating these tones 30 years later. That was my very roundabout introduction to say that this guitar does not have a JB like the actual guitar does. This is a humbucker from a Squier Bullet Mustang. If you want to learn more about every part of this guitar and everything that went into the build, check out this video. It'll be linked here and in the video description. For pedals, we can safely guess that Kurt had his usual In Utero tour setup at his feet, even though the video never gives us a shot of these. Electro-Harmonix Small Clone and Polychorus, Sansamp, and Boss DS2. I will just be using my Sansamp Classic. These are my settings. I didn't use my small clone for Drain You, as Kurt's guitar cut out right when he was about to use his, so we never hear it here. Kurt's amp setup is dialed back and smaller than what we usually see on this tour. There's only 2 Marshall cabs behind him, as opposed to the usual 4. The only preamp and power amp case we can see is Chris's. I wasn't able to find a single shot of either Kurt or Pat's. My guess is that it might be set up behind their cabs, out of the camera's view. Like his pedals, we can safely guess that Kurt is using his Mesa Boogie studio preamp with a Crest 4801 power amp. I am using my Fender Tone Master Twin Reverb. These are my settings. You'll now hear me playing all the riffs from the 3 songs that were performed at this appearance. At the end of Drain You, I clicked on my tuner pedal to emulate the part where Kurt's guitar cuts out. Settings will be shown in the corner of the screen, and you will see the Sansamp as it's being used. Hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think.